Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Little new way that we're starting it. No countdown today. We've got a great panelist on the show today to talk all about Alaska. People have either been to Alaska, going to go to Alaska, and so we're excited.
I'm excited.
Are you excited?
I am.
So we've been on one Alaskan cruise so far.
Yes,
so
it was addictive. It's like that, whatever that is, that fentanyl.
Wait a minute.
I'm
Did
only.
you say one Alaska cruise and you live in Seattle?
Yes. Last year was our first Alaska cruise.
How's that even possible?
Right. That's what I'm getting at.
Here's the deal. Here's the deal. Every time I watch everybody's video, I'm like, we see that weather all the time. Why do we want to go up there? And so we see that, I mean, we but it's different. And I didn't realize how different it was until we went up there and experienced it, and then realized why didn't we do this before? Yeah, we got hooked with Alaska after that. Why didn't we do it before? So, but we want to welcome everyone into the chat, into Ocean Travel Too. If everyone doesn't know, we're going to introduce the panel. We've got Mike and Ricky from Clock Family Adventures. We've got the Naughty Man, Mike, the Naughty Cruiser. We've got Bill from Warm Strong Adventures. We've got Sherry from Destination Fun. And we've got Jennifer from Embarkation Nation. So we want to welcome everybody here, and hopefully everyone is having a wonderful evening. We're going to do a quick say hello to everyone in the chat, and then we're going to get on to our topic. And first one in the house tonight was Mr. Scott McNeil in the house. Welcome in, Scott. Glad you are here. Hopefully you are having a wonderful evening, sir. And we've got Lisa with Lisa's Cruise Adventures. Welcome in, Lisa. Glad you are here, and hopefully you are having a wonderful evening. And scrolling down the chat. Oh, the chat just went. We've got Mike, Cruise Vet, in the house. Welcome in. Y'all. And we also have Michael the Realist is in the house.
Kiwi
Welcome
friends.
in. And we've got
cool friends.
Danny D, spectacular supporter. Welcome in, Danny. Hopefully you are having a wonderful evening. Everything's going well. And we've got the Bud Files in the house.
Hello,
welcome
peoples.
in. And we've got Emily with EM74. Welcome in. Hopefully you're having a wonderful evening. We've got Jennifer from Embarkation Nation is in the house. And we've got Blaine. Welcome in, Blaine. Hopefully you are having a wonderful evening, sir.
I feel like deja vu. I've seen most of this crew already today, LOL.
Yep. We'll welcome in, Blaine, one more time. And we've got Marsha from Simi Valley in the house. Welcome in. And we've got the Z Show is in the house. Welcome in,
Good
Z.
evening, content creators.
And we've got Nicole Clock is in the house. Welcome in, Nicole.
One of our spawns.
And we've got Cruise Nuts is in the house. Welcome in, guys. Hopefully you're having a wonderful day. And let's see. We've got Aaron and Tracy Traveler Bus is in the house. Welcome in. Hopefully you're having a wonderful evening. And by the way, everyone answer the poll as you come in if you haven't done it already. And the poll question is, would you be concerned about the weather on an Alaskan cruise? And right now we've had 11 votes, but we've got more people in the chat. So everyone answered if you would. And we've got 64% says no and 27 says yes. All right. And let's see what else we got. We've got Sifting Soul More. That is Mona is in the house. Welcome in, Mona. Glad you are here. Got to meet her on the booze cruise. Was great. And Scott McNeil says, I'll send them to you. We've got Meg in the house. Welcome in, Meg. Glad you're here. Hopefully you are doing wonderful. And Journeys with June and Brady. And we've got Shady Brady.
Shady Brady, hello.
Welcome in. And Nicole says, Caitlin says hi.
Yeah.
So hi, Caitlin.
You saw.
And we've got Kathy Mills in the house. Welcome in, Kathy. Hopefully you are having a wonderful evening. And all right, we're going to go ahead and stop there. All right, so we are talking cruising, and everyone on the panel, almost everyone has been to Alaska at least once.
Except for these people.
We are or are going to Alaska in 2025. So we're going to be kind of talking about both. So right there.
Question.
Yeah.
Bill, what did you do when you got to Seattle? Did you do any Seattle sightseeing?
I went to the Space Needle and went down to the Pikes Place Market. So I only spent one day down there. So yeah, those are two things I did, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good place to be. Hotel wasn't too far from there.
What hotel did you stay at?
Bruce, I have to look it up. I don't know.
So what did anybody else take a bite out of Seattle when they were here?
Oh yeah. I took a big bite out of Seattle. I mean, come on, you gotta go big or go home, right? So I flew in on Friday. So I spent the whole day there prior to the cruise leaving. So I flew into Seattle. I actually took the train from the airport so that way I could see like a little bit more of it. And I only paid like $4, y'all. So let me tell you something. If you're flying into Seattle, don't take an Uber because it's a ridiculous amount of money. The train literally dropped me off a block from my hotel and it was less than $5. So that was well worth it. From the hotel, I went and I did lunch at Pike Place Market, went around and explored, got on the cruise, but I did the Space Needle and Chihuly afterwards. And then I stood in line at the original Starbucks for like an hour just to go buy a cup.
Just to do it?
Just to say I did it, right? Just to do it for the vlog. But that wasn't like the big expense. The big expense, I sent home $400 worth of seafood from Pike Place Market.
Yeah.
Like, and I know it's a little ridiculous, right? But when I was standing there and the guy cracked open the crab leg and handed it to me to eat, and I was like, oh yeah, I got to send some of this home. So $400 later, the seafood actually beat me home because I took a red eye after the cruise back to Tampa, landed at 6, went right to work, worked all day, and then came home.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Jennifer, Sherry, did you guys do something in Seattle?
So we took a bus ride from Vancouver to Seattle and it dropped us off at the airport. So that was our whole Seattle experience. We actually went from Whittier to Vancouver on our cruise.
Okay, so you cruised out of Canada?
Out of Whittier, Alaska.
Okay, to Canada.
To Vancouver, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Awesome. And Sherry, what did you do when you came to Seattle? Is there anything particular you did, or you just do sites like everyone else, the Space Needle and?
You did, Sherry. We're still having trouble hearing you.
Yeah, she's unmuted, but it's saying there's still no audio coming through.
No audio.
I read those lips. She's going to leave and come back.
Okay. Let's go.
Well, Seattle has a ton of fun stuff to do, so I really recommend coming in at least a day early. There's the Troll, there's the whole downtown area, there's just museums and fun, and there's Snoqualmie Falls. There's lots of hiking within 45 minutes of landing. You can get out into nature and get lost real quick, and all sorts of fun stuff. So Seattle's fun, and the clocks will soon find out. But I think the clocks fell off.
Yeah, I'm coming in for my next one, no matter when it is, whether it's the encore or one after that. I'm coming in at least 2 days ahead of time.
Yeah, I mean, there's other things to do. That you've got the Seattle Underground, which is a lot of fun, where you see the old Seattle before they built the new one on top of, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The Museum of Flight's a lot of fun too. So
yeah, we talked on the Boost Cruise about what I want to do. I'm definitely doing that. So I got to come in a couple days early to try and find all those areas, because I know it's like outskirts of Seattle, but either way, I got to do all that.
Yeah,
I would love to come in 2 days early. That's usually
you definitely need like two days if you want to enjoy it.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, you do.
Sherry, are you audioed up?
Can you guys hear me?
There you go.
Really
Hey,
nice.
Sherry,
Yeah.
welcome to the show.
I
So,
have
Sherry,
with the microphone. I guess it's not working, but my earbuds work, so that works. So Seattle. So you had asked me about Seattle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
We went for a few days before we left. And we did the whole Ferris wheel thing, and we did the Pike Market, and we did the Seattle the Starbucks original coffee, and we did the whole Seattle thing. And then coming back, we stopped in Snoqualmie Falls or something, Sonoma, something like that. And we went through all
Snoqualmie Falls.
because we spent another extra day on the way back. So yeah, it was fun. We loved Seattle.
Did you stay in the lodge at the falls up there at Snoqualmie Lodge?
We passed it, but we didn't go in it or anything. But yeah, it was cool. I liked it.
Let's quick check the chat because I see a comment here that we've got to debate. Okay, that's because they're 49er fans.
That's not the only reason. I kind of agree with traveling bust.
What is wrong with the hat?
It's not the hat; it's the bird that's on the hat. It should be an eagle instead of a.
An eagle.
I mean, I'm just saying. 8-1, baby. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh my goodness! Well, you know what? I'm actually taking off anyways because that thing is hot. All right. So there you go, Aaron and Tracy. Good to go. Let's see. Shady Brady says, I would not be worried about the weather. Expect the worst, hope for the best.
It's Alaska.
It's Alaska. But
any other questions or comments about?
Not right now. Nope. We got a lot of folks come in, like Dean.
Hi.
I know I'm gonna. Yeah, I know I'm gonna butcher it, so I'm just gonna leave it alone. And Carnival Cruise Addicts came in, and so did Kurt with See Me Traveling. He's in the house. All right, go ahead and go.
Okay, so now, Mike and Ricky, when you come into Seattle, was there any of that you thought, hey, I want to do some of that when I'm in Seattle?
Absolutely. I want to do it all. I just want to do it all.
You want to catch a fish at Pike Market?
Yes.
Okay. We'll make it happen.
I want to see her catch a fish because I'm going to be recording it the whole time.
Make
They
it
come
short.
flying at you. I mean,
That fish goes quick.
it happened. Yep.
Absolutely.
Mackerel slapped.
So
All right.
he'll be standing here, and I'm just going to go sideways so it'll smack him.
All right, then I think the cruise. Then you get on the pier down there was real easy. Anybody have any problems with the pier getting into the ship or anything like that?
Super easy, super simple.
It is a little different though with Uber. So we took an Uber, or maybe it was Lyft, one of them, from the hotel. They don't let them drive all the way up to the actual port where you drop your luggage off. They have a special stop that they have to stop at before and let you out. So you have to drag your luggage all the way up. But if you take a cab, the cab can drive all the way up. So
which cruise line did which
line
port did you cruise out of, Sherry, when you did Alaska?
I don't know. Isn't there only Seattle? That was we went out.
No,
of Seattle.
yeah, but there's more than one port in Seattle.
Which line did you?
Which line did you cruise on?
Oh, we cruised on Royal.
Okay.
Okay,
yeah,
so you were down on the marina. Carnival.
Yeah, Carnival lets you pull right up with the Uber.
They do Smith, the Smith port versus the downtown. So
that's a good tip, though.
That's a really good tip.
What transportation you book, because there are some limitations.
So they
At the airport, you can take a train for I think it was $4.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and the good thing is if you're coming in a couple days early, you can get the Orca Pass, and it's only like $10 for I think it's like a 4 or 5 day span, so it's well worth it.
Otherwise, an Uber will cost you about $45.
Yes, it does.
So if you want to catch a ferry ride, I think the Orca Pass can get you on the ferries as well.
If you want to do a ferry ride, absolutely.
While you're here, and I do recommend that.
Yeah, going to Bay Bridge Island. It's
absolutely
nice
really
one to
cool.
do, yeah.
And is that what you sent me earlier?
I sent you Bainbridge Island, to get you all excited about getting on a ferry and go seeing one of the islands. So, Okay, let's move on. So embarkation was fine. You know, there's some tips to get there easy. On the ship, sailing out, we're going through the Straits of Juan de Fuca. Anything happening there? Did you guys get to see anything, or because you're not out yet, you're in the Straits or in the Puget Sound?
So when I was in the Sound, I went live, and right before I went live, you could see like all these dolphins everywhere. And then when I went live, they were gone. They were nowhere. So it was just like me staring at the water for 20 minutes, telling everybody that was on there, like, I promise you'll see them. They're here. I saw them before I pushed the button. Yeah. Why did that go through like 10 times? Did you see that?
Because
What's that?
it went out to every channel that's broadcasting.
Oh yeah, that does that. So we did see some orcas just as we were coming out of the streets.
Humpbacks?
No, we saw a small pod of orcas just as we were coming into the ocean out of the straits.
We saw tons of dolphins, and it's almost creepy. There's so much in there. So Sherry and Jennifer, did you have a similar experience? Bill, what was yours like?
I don't remember seeing any dolphins. All I remember, it was a nice clear day, and you could see Mount Rainier like in the distance. And I thought it was a beautiful sight.
We saw whales, but it wasn't in the strait. It was further up towards Alaska. We didn't see them down towards Seattle.
Yeah.
As we were going into Vancouver, we saw there was like a pod of about 100 dolphins, spinner dolphins, I think they were. And that was the most amount of dolphins I've ever seen in one area. So that was really cool.
So there's a lot of life to see, and we had a naturalist on board. I think that's pretty common on Alaskan. And at first, we're not sure what to look for, and so they were teaching you how to look and where to look, and all the signs, of which was super helpful. So the longer we looked, the more we got used to looking for those signs, and we got more successful at seeing the whales and the chirping birds and eagles and all sorts of stuff. Okay, so you're cruising along. You have your first day at sea. Anything happening on there? Do you have what happened on your first day at sea?
I don't remember. It's all a blur. I was just so excited.
I think for us, we had a little bit of a hard time adjusting because we're so used to a Caribbean cruise, especially kind of being here near Galveston. So when it was like hot chocolate and like different, kind of a different vibe, it was exciting, but it was different. And so I think we kind of kept waiting for the cruise to start, and we were on Princess too. It was our first time on Princess, so we kind of kept waiting for it was just a little different. It was exciting, different, a good different, but it was, to me, you're used to the hot sun and the Caribbean drinks, and this was different. I don't know how many times I'm going to say different in that one sentence. Yeah,
it was different, and that's the good thing, right? Like, so diversity is a great thing within the cruising community. So if you want like different stuff all the time, you can get that here. And me being a northern boy, it didn't have to take time to adjust to cold climate, right? Like, it is what it is. That's where I was born and raised. But what was different for me was the amount of time. The further north you went, the longer the sun stayed out.
Yes.
So when I would leave comedy at 10 o'clock at night and it's still bright as all get out outside, I'm like, let's go party. Meanwhile, we're closing in on 1 a.m. and it's still super bright outside.
Yeah, that's one thing that people that normally cruise the Caribbean, it's sometimes, because it was for us the first time we did it, it's a culture shock when you're always having the warm air and the warmer weather, and then you're doing the Alaska, which is more cooler. Although it wasn't bad, we did it in August, and it was not that bad.
But it is a different vibe. The vibe is really different on an Alaskan cruise.
It really is.
We didn't expect that.
Yeah. For instance, when you're doing the Caribbean, you're having all the music played on the Lido deck and all that, but they weren't doing that on the Alaska cruise. It was a lot more subtle.
Did you guys have music on your cruise?
It was very go, go, go. Like, it wasn't like, let's go relax at the pool, or it was just, it was go to bed early, get up early, go to bed early, get up early, and you were constantly doing something.
So we
See, I thought it.
Oh.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Bill. Go ahead.
No, I was about to say. I found just the opposite. It was relaxing because like that first day you woke up and you're just cruising along, and it's like you leave Seattle's bright sunny city area, and then when you leave out, it's like now you're starting to see mountains with snow and things like that. And I'm just outside just looking at it. And it actually, for me, it got warmer as we pulled out of Seattle than it was when I was in Seattle. I mean, it was I enjoyed the weather heading up there to Juneau.
We had a different experience because we went the first week of September. So they had like a storm come in, and so it was raining and overcast at the start of our cruise. So there was no Lido anything because it was pouring down rain. And then Andrew and I, at the time, it was about 10 years ago, actually about 12 years ago. So Andrew was like 21, 22, and I was about 23, 24 on this cruise. So we were the youngest by far. So we were like ready to like party, and it was like not the party ship. So that was kind of, so yeah, there was a lot of great music and stuff though. It gave us a different taste.
And that was on Princess, right?
It was, yes.
So see, I got most of my cruising under my belt on Princess, so I'm all about that little chill vibe that Princess offers. It's incredible. But like what you were saying, Bill, when you leave Seattle, you're sailing out and you're going from like the cityscape. I literally felt like I was transported to one of Bob Ross's paintings on both sides.
Right.
All the happy trees, all the life, all of everything. And then it's like everyone's demeanor changed too, right? So like once the boat left, the ship left, everybody was just like all calm, mellow, relaxed. I don't know. It's completely different.
So Mike and Ricky, are you hearing anything that's like, hey, this sounds good to me? Or are you like, I don't know about it?
Oh, I'm all about just finding a place to sit and relax and do absolutely nothing.
Yeah, your balcony cabin, it's perfect for that.
Yeah.
Not having your balcony will do that. And what's really cool with the Encore that we're doing in 2025 is they have the observation deck at the front of the ship that you can just sit down inside, relax, and just enjoy it. So can't wait for that.
Okay, so the first stop is, for the cruise coming up in 2025 is Juneau. So Sherry, did you go to Juneau?
Mm-hmm.
What did you do?
I forgot. I think we did the whale watching, and is that where I'd have to go back and look at my vlog.
That's where Tracy's Crab Shack is.
Okay, so we originally were going to do that tram thing that goes up to the top, but the line
Mount Roberts.
Yeah, that was crazy. So I want to say, I don't know. I have to go back. You guys go in a second, and I'll look at my vlogs and see what we did.
So we went to Mendenhall Glacier, and that was absolutely fabulous.
Oh, yes, that's what we did. That's it.
Okay. Yeah. So we went to Mendenhall Glacier, and Cindy's dad and mom were with us, but they forgot their medication, so they spent all day of Juneau at the pharmacy to get their.
Oh man!
But we went to Mendenhall Glacier and we had a fantastic time.
Yeah, we recommend it. Cool. We really enjoyed it. It rained. Boy, did it rain! But if you're prepared for it, you know it.
But it didn't rain the whole time.
Yes, it did.
No, it didn't.
And it was cold.
Were you at the same cruise?
Yes, and you were there. And we have a film. You go see our vlog. It's raining.
It was off and on. It was off and on. It was not all day.
So, Bill, what did you do in Juneau?
The greatest excursion I've ever done. I took a helicopter ride to Mendenhall Glacier. Yeah, we were able to get out.
Oh my goodness, yes, that's like my bucket list. So you landed right on the glacier? On the glacier, and they walked around and told you some stories about the glacier and how it was formed, how long it's been here, how long the ice has been there. And then they gave you a chance. It was in May, middle of May maybe, and there's some running little stream, and they allowed you to go down and take a sip of the glacier water.
Wow,
nice.
So it was good.
So that's definitely on my list for the next time I'm there, because
I wanted to do it this time,
right? And I was like, man, do I really want to drop $800?
Yeah, this was 600, 650, right around there.
Yeah, okay, for you. I need to pay the extra fat guy fee. So
Up. Hey, funny you say that, Mike. I was 250 is the weight before you have to pay the tax, and I was like 148, whatever. And it's like, man, I got a jacket on or whatever. So I get there and I start peeling off all my clothes. All I had was like a hoodie on, and I got on the scale, came out to like, I shouldn't be telling my weight and all this, but I came out like 248. Oh, you're good. And grab your jacket and go back. What? So anyway, it worked out for me. I didn't have to pay the extra tax.
Yeah, and it is what it is, right? But I did the WoW watching when I was there. The original excursion I had, it was like a 5 or 6 hour WoW watching excursion, and it ended up getting canceled because the company was having issues with their boats. So Carnival sent me a list of other WoW watching excursions, and everything else was just like cutting into the rest of the day. I wouldn't have been able to see the port. I wouldn't have been able to do anything. So I went with the express WoW watching, which was 2 hours. That was great. The only downfall is you find one whale and then you sit there and you watch the same whale. They won't go any further because it's such a short time and they got to run so far out that once they spot one, that's it. And there's no guarantee, but the good thing is with a lot of those excursions, like them whale watching excursions, at least through Carnival anyway, they offer a money back guarantee. So like with that one, it was $200, I think it was like $220. But if you didn't see whales, you got $100 back. So you pretty much just took a $112 boat ride. Either way, it is what it is. But we saw a lot of whales. It was great. It was awesome. And then I went and I ate crabs. Tracy gave me crabs while I was there. So that was a good experience too. But Juneau was great. I enjoyed Juneau. Juneau was nice. But my favorite, I want to jump ahead so bad, but I'm going to let you go based off your agenda.
Jennifer, what did you do in Juneau?
So we went to the Red Dog Saloon, and I saw somebody put it in the chat, and we got the duck farts.
Duck farts.
Yeah.
What?
Quack, quack.
It's like yeah, it's a shot. It's a shot.
It's a drink.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's some terrible disease.
I'm trying to think what it is. It's like Crown and something mixed. But everybody kept telling us we had to go try this shot. So Andrew and we went and did that, and then we just kind of walked around and just kind of took in how pretty the city was. We didn't pay for an excursion on that one, and we were impressed with the amount of eagles, like the bald eagles there. Like that was the first time being here in Texas, we don't see them as often. So we were just really impressed with like how big they were, and then just how many there were. So we kind of just took that in.
Yeah, the eagles are great out there. I can see them in Florida. I just got to go to the dump. You literally, like, you don't see them anywhere around down here. Every now and then you'll see them up in the trees in the woods. But if you go to the dump to get rid of some stuff, man, the whole landfill's full of them.
Yeah. It makes the news if there's one here. They're like, there's a bald eagle in like whatever town. And I'm like, it's landed. So we don't see them very often here in the South.
So, Mike and Ricky, after listening to everybody's experiences, what did you want to take a bite out of?
Mike wants a duck fart.
Surprise.
Yeah, that's what he's looking forward to the most. No, I'm very excited about the scenery, seeing all the nature, and just going. I'm very excited.
So I have to admit, when she said we got the duck farts, my head was like, is that like the Hershey squirts or what?
Chat will help us out. It's a third Crown, a third Kahlua, and a third of Bailey's in one shot.
Okay.
So there is a question in the chat from Will G. Wants to know, is there a train that goes from the airport to downtown? Yes, there is. Will, it's called the Link Rail. And you can pick it up right at the airport, and it will take you all the way down to what's called King Square. And it's not that far from the cruise port. So right by the football stadium and everything.
Yeah, and I want to say it was like $4 or $5 or something like that. It was very cheap.
Yeah, it was cheap. And if you're there for multiple days, don't be afraid to get the Orca Pass. Like, I'm a big, firm believer in public transportation, man. I would rather take public transportation than an Uber or a cab any day because you see things along the way, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm getting off at the next stop, and then you just go and explore, and you get lost, and you just enjoy the day. And taking that train out of Seattle, like Bruce said, it literally takes you past the Garbage Hawks Stadium. I mean, the Seahawks Stadium. It takes you past the Mariner Stadium.
Oh my
Past all that
goodness!
stuff.
Where's that mute button?
So you get to see like so much other stuff in Seattle. And like I got off a block from my hotel. So for less than $5 to get from the airport to my hotel, it was well worth it.
And Shady Brady says they did the Seattle Express and it dropped them right off at the terminal. Looks like for $26.
Yeah, that's a little too steep for my pocket. Frugal friendly. That's the name of the game, right? I want to save as much money possible in Seattle to spend as much money as possible in Alaska. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, excursions ain't cheap. So
yeah,
you're gonna do excursions, you need to reach way deep down inside them pockets.
This is true. Excursions in Alaska are not. They are spending a lot more than the
compared
Caribbean.
to a Caribbean or a Riviera.
Or the Riviera,
Yeah.
absolutely. And Shady Brady says that they did see the Northern Lights in August.
Delete that comment. Delete that comment. Because he was on there with controversial cruising, okay? On the Luminosa. A week after I got off the Luminosa is when they saw the Northern Lights. I was so mad.
So what time of year was that? Was that the end of August or in the middle?
No, it was like the second week of August.
Oh my goodness! Because we were in
looking
the second week of August, and we were looking and never see a thing.
Yeah, so my cruise, I got back at the very beginning of August. So I think it was like August 4th. And Neil, the cruise director, and me, we were having a couple conversations back and forth. I followed him on Instagram, and we started talking about some stuff. And then I wake up the one day, and he posted a video. Emily came into my cabin at 1:30 in the morning, waking everybody up. So she comes over the speaker at 1:30 in the morning, 2:30 in the morning, waking everybody up because the Northern Lights are out there. They're all out there on the top deck. The cruise director's in pajamas and big Ugg boots. And he's filming the Northern Lights, and I was like, oh my God.
Oh man.
I was like, I was just there. Like I couldn't. This is the only thing I wanted to see. I was just here, and I could not see it.
So I want to see it because you can see it at times of the year right from our house, out at the beach. And do we ever we've lived here for decades now in this Pacific Northwest, never seen the lights. So okay,
Shady Brady said the last week of August is when they were there. So it was literally like 2 cruises after I got back.
Yeah. And then Emily's asking that any whales. Everyone sees that it says that they see whales, not orcas, but humpbacks. We've seen both.
We've seen both.
We saw both.
They're here now.
On our
Yeah.
But on our cruise we saw both orcas and humpbacks.
Yeah, I've seen them both too.
Yeah. In fact, we had orcas one day when we were on our balcony, Ricky, on our balcony, and there was orcas that came up within. Seriously, you almost felt like you could reach out and touch them. They were probably no more than 30, 40 feet off the
But that's only if you have a balcony, Ricky.
Oh no, we have
a balcony.
We have a balcony.
He's laying it on thick.
I saw whales. I saw both whales, but I saw more whales on the way back to Seattle than I did on the way to Alaska. So that whole Puget Sound and all that stuff was more full on the way back than it was on the way out.
I thought you were talking that so many people ate at the buffet that there was a lot more whales on the ship.
That's not what I'm saying, Mike. I got footage. If you watch my vlogs, you'll see it. But I mean, you're not wrong.
Not wrong.
Okay,
he's done.
Any other questions? If there's no other questions, we're gonna move to Skagway.
Although Scott McNeil says that the day they left, there was an air show.
So I got to see that. I got to see that on my cruise too. They were it was like that weekend I got back. They were having that big air show they do in Seattle.
Seafair.
Yep.
Yeah, the Seafair.
Yep.
And they were out there practicing when I was standing in line at Starbucks. I was like this, trying to film them as I'm standing in line at Starbucks for 2 hours. for a cup.
It's kind of funny that when I first moved to Seattle, I would run out of my office, stand in the parking lot just to watch them. And now, a couple decades later, the Blue Angels.
Now it's like, man, yo, keep it down. People are trying to work down here.
It's terrible.
Welcome in, Nautical Nurse Nancy.
Hi. Okay, let's move to Skagway. So, Sherry, what did you do in Skagway?
We did the train. That was amazing. And then we just walked around downtown afterwards. So yeah, I would definitely recommend the train if you've never done it.
Bill, what did you do?
Same thing. I love the White Pass train, and I loved it. And I would recommend, I'm like Sherry, I would recommend that to everybody.
So I'm intrigued by it. I mean, when you see the video, it's just, there's like old broken down trestles that you're going by, and
It's awesome.
it? I mean,
I'll send you some pictures and videos. It's incredible.
Yeah,
now,
it's just like that.
I wasn't going to do it because, my buddy Tony at Lolita Look, it was like, it's a train, you see trees. It wasn't that great. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to just take the shot. I loved it. From the time you get out of town and you're allowed to stand on that platform, I was on that back platform from the time we left to the time we got back. I enjoyed every minute of that train ride. I enjoyed that more than walking around the town and getting lunch at the brewery and a few drinks. Like, that train was awesome. It took you all the way up into Canada. And there's a few different ones you could do. I just did the one that took you up to Canada, turned around, and then it came back. You could take the train up into Canada, get off, and then take a bike ride and ride the bike all the way back down.
Are you going to ride a bike?
Nice.
You just got to make sure you get off and move it away from obstacles, Bruce, or you're going to fall. But you can take a bike ride all the way down from the top of the mountain.
Mike said that's what he wants to
No,
do.
I didn't do that. I did the train up and down. But
Yeah, I just did the train up and down. But there's like a few different options. You can take the train all the way up and then take a bus tour on the way back and then stop somewhere for like a salmon bake. They have a few different options with it. I enjoyed the train all the way up and the train all the way back. And then I went and I had fish and chips at the brewery and a couple beers.
Sounds wonderful. So Sherry, you did the train up and back. Bill, did you do the train up and back?
Yes.
And Jennifer, what did you do?
So we did the brewery fish and chips and stuff, but we were greeted with the sled dogs. Like, they were puppies. And so we spent the first hour of our day holding the sled dog puppies. It was so fun. We wanted to bring them back on the ship. When we got off, they had, this lady was there and she had, they were just we were the first stop. That was our first stop on that particular cruise. And so they had the puppies there and they were so excited for us. And I mean, Andrew and I spent the first hour doing that. And then we did some shopping and then we went to the brewery. Skagway was so beautiful. It was so, you can see the mountains and it's just like perfect. And so it kind of reminded me, if anybody's ever been to like Silverton, Colorado, like that,
It's kind of like the Old West, right? You feel like you're stepping into like a Western movie.
Yes, it is. It's absolutely beautiful. So we did that. We were really poor when we went on that excursion. I mean, on that trip, we were like barely making it on the ship, first floor, but we went on an Alaskan cruise, so we didn't do any excursions. But we still had an amazing time.
But sometimes the best times are no excursion times. Like, I'm not a big excursion person.
Exactly.
So when it comes to the Caribbean or Europe, I don't really do excursions. Alaska, I wanted to do excursions because it was my first time there, and I wanted to see more than what was just at the port. But you bring up the sled dogs. Oh, I don't know if all y'all know this or not, but that's a perk that Princess does. So if you book a Princess Alaskan cruise, the naturalist that they have on board is typically a naturalist that's through the Discovery Channel. They partner with the Discovery Channel on a lot of things, and they bring little added bonuses to their port. So they'll do the sled dogs at one port, or they'll bring the sled dogs on the ship at one port. So you can literally have puppies on deck. I think they literally call it sled dog puppies on the Lido or something like that. But that's a special perk that Princess does with their Alaska cruises.
That sounds amazing. So did Bill or Sherry, did you get a dog adventure in anywhere along there?
No, we didn't do the dog.
No doggy. Womp, womp, womp.
Wah, wah, wah.
Mike and Ricky, I'm coming over to you. What do you want to do in Skagway? What did you hear? What do you want to try?
I want to see the dogs. I want to go see the dogs.
I wouldn't mind doing the train ride either.
Yes, the train ride. Mike said he wants to ride the bike back down now, so we're gonna.
Yeah, so I seen the one comment that was like the train. Billy Russell said the train kind of felt like fake if it had a stop. And that's the thing, right? Like you got to book the specific train route that does the stop. So they have multiple trains through the White Pass route that go up the mountain. If you do the express ride, you're literally just going up and coming back. But here's a little tip and trick for everybody. If you go to the White Pass company's website, you can save like $15 off of what the excursion rate is if you book it through there instead of the cruise line. I didn't tell you that. The only thing you got to worry about is, your times and all that stuff. That's on you. But I'm telling you, you can save a little bit of money by booking it directly with White Pass.
So Nautical Nurse Nancy said she loved the train. And Shady Brady said the salmon in Skagway. Oh, they saw salmon in Skagway.
Wow.
Did we?
I didn't see salmon in Skagway, but I saw a crazy guy out there swimming. And I'm like, what's wrong with this dude?
Cheryl says, I love Alaska. Been on 5 cruises there and got number 6 booked. Awesome.
Wow. Nice job, Cheryl.
And Nautical Nurse Nancy says that Tony is wrong.
100%. And he even said in his video, right? He's like, I don't know. You might like it. It's not for me. It's boring. All you see is trees. And I told him when we went to lunch a couple weeks ago, I was like, bro, you need to do it again. Like, there's no way you did the right thing. There's no way, because it was incredible seeing old train trestle bridges just blown up and all over the place. And then it gets to like one part of the mountain where you're climbing up the mountain and it just looks down the valley and the river. And then right there at the bottom of it is all the cruise ships.
Yep.
It's like a movie, like you're in a movie set. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
So Kathy Mills says they went in May and there was several feet of snow on each side of the tracks.
Oh, wow.
It says beautiful scenery.
Was it snowing when you guys went, Sherry or Bill?
No, I had perfect weather. I mean, it was sunny every day, maybe a sprinkle a little bit. I had perfect weather.
You had the same weather.
I've been twice, both times in May.
What about
It
you,
didn't
Jennifer?
rain or snow the whole time we were there.
Oh.
It did not rain or snow?
It was overcast, but it didn't rain for us. It was like a nice September overcast day.
And my weather was perfect. I mean, we got a little drizzle here and there, but most of the time I was wearing shorts and t-shirt.
Yep.
Except for the fjords. I was free. That was a cold day.
That was cold. Yeah.
Yeah, the fjords was, when we went up to the fjord, we started, I think we were like in the low 60s. And by the time we got up there, it was like 32, 31 degrees. It was freezing up there. It was cold.
Let's talk, since we're talking fjords, let's talk fjords. What fjords did you see? Did you go to Glacier Bay? And what were your impressions of it? Let's start with Sherry.
We didn't do that. We were supposed to go somewhere. I think it was Glacier Bay, but it was canceled due to the weather.
Oh, dang.
So we didn't see any of it.
Bill.
We did Tracy Arms Fjords. Again, it was unreal, and because of the noise pollution, I mean, the cruise ship is going like 1 knot an hour. I mean, you're barely moving, so you can't really hear the ship at all. You're just outside and just hear the nature and the waterfalls, and I mean, I loved it. Alaska is just surreal whenever you get out there. If anybody gets out there, and again, I don't like cold weather, but I loved it there.
So were you outside most of the day in the fjord, or were you looking out through like a window or glass?
I was outside. I mean, again, I'm from the north, so hey, you have a little heavier jacket on and a hoodie. You go outside. I don't want to be in nature and be inside. I want to be outside in nature.
That's what we chose.
That's
we chose
what
to
we
be
had.
outside all dang day. And the farther we went up the fjord, the lower the temperature got. And, we were sucking down that hot chocolate, but we weren't going in.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We really enjoyed it. It
Yeah.
didn't really bother us. What I wish we would have done is because you couldn't go all the way up to the glacier because of that island they have in the middle, but you could get onto that smaller boat that
And
picked
go
you
up
up
farther.
off the ship. I wish we would have done that.
Next time if we do that again, we're going to buy that excursion because we can see the glaciers, but those boats, you got off like you're getting on a tinder and you go right up to the base of the glaciers.
Yeah.
It sounded
Now,
amazing.
was that Tracy Arm that you guys did?
Yeah, Tracy Arm.
Yeah, so that's the South Sawyer Glacier. So when you get there, you can book it in advance. A lot of people don't know this stuff, and this is where we should come in and tell people. When you're booking your cruise through Carnival, if it goes to Tracy Arm Fjords, you can book this excursion in advance, but you're not going to find it under Tracy Arm Fjords. You got to go to Seattle.
You got to go to Seattle.
See it under Seattle. It's like $260. You got two of them you can choose from throughout the day. One's at like 5 a.m, and you get on this vessel, and it takes you right up to the South Sawyer Glacier. Yep. And when I was on, I had D&J from Para DJ were on the cruise with me, and they did it, and she was like, it was phenomenal. I was like, yeah, well, I wasn't getting up at 6 a.m. Sorry.
Jennifer, what did you do?
We went through Glacier Bay on ours. So we woke up, we could hear, they kind of let us know that we were there. Like somebody mentioned before, we were going very slow. I think Bill mentioned we were barely moving. And we were able to, like, as the ship was kind of turning, we could see, we had a perfect view of the glacier, and it actually capped while we were standing out there. So it sounds like thunder almost. And it was the coolest sound. And we watched it, we watched it happen. The ice coming down. It was just so cool. And then one thing I loved about, like, our naturalist was talking about how they get that, like, that crystal blue color eye, how much of the weight is on it and stuff. And just listening to them talk and then seeing it and then seeing that, like, the blue and how pretty it was. It was just amazing. Now it was cold. Of course, when we left Texas, it was 109 degrees at DFW airport. So when we landed in Anchorage and it was like 43, that was a little bit of a shock for us. But it was cold, but that was the coldest day. And we still had, like, toboggan. We were dressed kind of like y'all are right now. Like, it was tolerable. It was so pretty, worth it. Hot chocolate in hand, just looking at the beautiful ice. And it was just perfect. We loved it.
Yeah, and that's the one thing about, like, the fjords, right? Is that iceberg blue. You're not going to see that blue anywhere else in the world, man.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
And people.
Bill, go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say, people, whatever you do, I know when you go to the Caribbean and they have different shows in the morning to tell you about what's going on the island, you skip it. You never go. When you're on the Alaskan cruise and they have a naturalist on there and they have meetings and conferences that they have, go to them. You'll learn so much. Don't skip those morning shows.
We enjoyed
absolutely. We enjoyed it so much because you find out where you're going, the wildlife that's in that area, the different things that you're going to see, and they really know each. You learn so much.
So going out, we didn't see very much wildlife going out the Straits of Juan de Fuca out into the Pacific Ocean. On the way back, we saw tons of it. And the naturalist said it's because you know what to look for. They were there on the way out. You just didn't know what to look for, but you had a whole week to learn. And when you came back, it was a whole different. I was like, oh, yeah, okay. And if we hadn't gone to those lectures, we wouldn't have had a different experience coming back in. Go to the lectures.
One of the coolest experiences, though, that we had was when we were coming back after we did the Tracy Arm. That's when we were coming into Victoria, going to Victoria and stuff, and that humpback whale that breached right off the ship was the coolest thing.
But no one's going to believe it because we couldn't get it on camera.
We didn't get it.
Cool.
It was cool.
Did you see a full breach?
It was a full breach.
Oh, yeah. See, I didn't get lucky enough to see a
full breach and then cry. Oh, it was so cool. And the thing about it, we should have known. And other people told us after the fact, you would see these little rings circling. Well, that was the whale breathing underneath, getting ready to do its thing, and you would see it, and then right at the aft of the ship is where it came up. And oh man, it was a full breach. It was the most gorgeous thing you ever saw.
Yeah, so if you see those rings, it's called bubble feeding.
Yeah.
So they blow rings to push the bait up to the surface, and then they come up, they open their mouth, and then they breach out of the water. And that's something you learn if you go to those shows that Bill was talking about.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it was awesome. And Kathy Mills says that in Glacier Bay was so beautiful. You see several glaciers, icebergs, others, and the naturalists do a great job watching for wildlife for you. Absolutely.
So, and so other than the amazing blue, which is, I mean, you see it on film, but when you see it in life, it's really crazy blue. I was shocked by the blue of icebergs and the size of some of them. So, okay, I digress. It was a blue and beautiful, and we held one. It was so cool because they tell you how old the ice is. And then you can just go pick up this 1,000,000-year-old ice and hold it in your hand. It's like a crazy experience.
Yeah. And if you do that excursion while in like Tracy Arm Fjord, they give you a drink that's made with the ice from the iceberg.
Oh, wow.
Oh, cool.
What?
Yeah. So they literally get a net, they scoop the ice out, they chisel off the chunks of ice, and they put that in your drink, and that's what chills your drink.
So Mike and Ricky, you want to go lick an iceberg?
Yes. Yeah. Mike wants to make sure his tongue gets stuck, just like that.
to the part where the mastodon. Never mind.
Okay. You guys want to move to Ketchikan?
Let's do it. My favorite port of all of them.
Here we go.
Okay.
All right. So then let's start with
Sherry.
Oh.
There you go.
Sorry.
So we did the Tonggrass hike through some forest, I guess Tonggrass Forest or something. It was cool. We did see some wildlife. I mean, it wasn't like bears or anything, but you could see bears. But we saw, I don't even remember, but it was like a lot of eagles and I guess owls. I guess it was owls. I don't know.
There's a lot of ravens.
Yeah. And then we saw the salmon going through because there's a little river that goes through there. I mean, it was very quiet and it was very relaxing. So, and we had a tour guide and the whole thing that walked us through there. And getting there, they take you through this whole part of town, and you have a director, and they give you the history of everything, which is pretty cool.
Sweet. All right, Bill, we need your Ketchikan experience.
Mine is not much. That one, I don't think I did an excursion. I just walked around town and went and got something to eat, something to drink, of course. And that's all I did. Nothing exciting.
Would you recommend anything for would you do something different your next cruise?
I would look at the excursions. Again, which ones I don't know yet, but yeah, I would definitely look at the excursions.
Okay, Jennifer, what was Ketchikan like for you?
It was great. We this is where we saw a lot of salmon and otters. I guess the otters had kind of been around, but we didn't notice that. We were probably looking at the eagles and everything else, but we saw tons of otters and like them playing around in the like the river creek area there. And we did some shopping. And then I was thinking about it too, and this Mike, maybe you can verify if this is a princess thing, but they did like gold coins that you could get at each port. And I remember like having the hardest time finding it in Ketchikan. So I was trying to like go to like all these different shops, like a scavenger hunt. It was one of the free things that you could do from probably the cruise ship, but we did that. And I remember us eating somewhere and it was really good.
The fish camp thing. We ate there. They had halibut and salmon that were like out of this world.
Yes. And so we did that. Of course, did some shopping. I did more shopping on my Alaska cruise than I think I've ever done on any of the other cruises. I bought jewelry that cruise because I loved all the blue pendants, and I had to get stuff that matched the glacier, and I bought hoodies and all kinds of stuff. So I did a lot of shopping and looking at the otters and eating.
Anybody ever buy a furkini?
A what?
Furkini?
The furkinis.
Oh,
you see those when you were in port?
I saw the furkinis.
Was it? I think it was like Juneau. Do you know how?
Oh, yeah.
Sounds
I
like
know what you're
something
talking about
Clock needs.
Yeah.
$40, like $40.
Okay, Naughty.
So
Got
y'all already know frugal friendly, right? Keep your money in your pocket. Ketchikan's a short port. 90% of the time, you're only there for 5 hours or less, right? So I got off. I walked around. I explored. I spent 95% of my time at Creek Street. It was absolutely phenomenal. Watching the salmon swim upstream, watching them jump out of the water, watching the seals. Like, it was like a dinner bell. There, you can rent a fishing rod and get a fishing license for like $10, and you can partake in salmon fishing right there at Creek Street. It was absolutely incredible. I loved Ketchikan because of the vibe. It was like slow paced, move at your own speed. Yeah, you're only there for 5 hours, but it gave you that small town Alaska feel, right? So when you go to like Skagway and you get that Western vibe and all that, Ketchikan actually gives you that. This is Alaska. Like, you are literally in Alaska vibe and feeling, and it was absolutely amazing. I spent a ton of money on souvenirs, but we're not going to talk about that. And I just spent majority of my time at Creek Street, walking around Creek Street. I talked to a couple locals that live there. They told me that all the tourists that come here are absolutely amazing. They're all friendly. They've never had a bad experience with a tourist. And this guy lived right next to Creek Street. Like, here's Creek Street, here's his house. So I was vlogging, and he's like, "Why are you walking around with a camera?" And I was like, "If you got a minute, I'll tell you." So we were having a conversation, and he's like, was telling me all about the salmon. So that was my most recent vlog that just dropped. And I think you watched it, Cindy, because you commented on it. So if you heard me talking about like the pink salmon run and the chum salmon run, it's because I got the information from a local. So just being there and seeing all of that, walking down Creek Street, watching the otters and the seals chase salmon that were swimming in, it was just an awesome experience. And you get some amazing shots of the ship. I'm a big picture guy when it comes to the ship. Ketchikan's got some of the best shots of the ship you can possibly get. But if I had to pick my favorite port in Alaska.
Yeah, your excitement to be there shone through. It made me excited.
Yeah, it was awesome. That was probably, if I had to give you like the best day I had on that whole Alaska cruise, it would be between Ketchikan and the White Pass Row. But Ketchikan, even though I didn't do an excursion, it was just an all around awesome day. It gave you that Alaska weather you kind of wanted, that little gloominess, and then that little chill in the air with a little drizzle. And then when we're leaving, like, I just fell in love with the mountain range because all the clouds were coming in, all the fog was rolling in, and you could just see the mountains just disappearing as the clouds were consuming everything. It was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, we really enjoyed Creek Street too. And Mike and Ricky, if you guys don't know what Creek Street is, back in the day it was a red light district, but now they have it into there's a bunch of shops and stores and museums and stuff there. So
and
it's a popular
brothels.
Yeah, you can tour the old brothels too, and it was a great day that we spent there too. Yeah,
and it rained.
It did rain a lot on that day. Yeah,
but it was fun.
And it's Alaska's first city, so get out there and explore.
Yep.
I feel like that one, like if you watch the movie The Proposal, like, you know how you see like the beautiful buildings and like the mountains behind it. I think that's probably, like, if you've ever seen that movie, like that's kind of how Ketchikan looks like when you're looking at it from the cruise ship and stuff. It's just,
well, I mean, not even like that movie in general, right? Like we're getting close to Christmas time here, so like any Hallmark movie, like Christmas Village Hallmark style movie, that is what the vibe I get from Ketchikan is. And again, it's a frugal friendly port. Like, you can save your money and not do an excursion because you're only there for a short amount of time. But if you want to go to like the Lumberjack show, it's literally going to take you 4 minutes to get there from the cruise ship because it's literally right there. So there's so much stuff you can do that's frugal friendly, and there's things that you can do that'll cost you more money. Me, I just enjoyed that day at Creek Street and just being like that one with nature, watching. It gives you a better appreciation for certain things in life, right? Like, I'm a big seafood guy. Y'all know that. We did seafood real big on the booze cruise.
Yep.
But it gives you a better appreciation and an understanding for the things that we tend to take advantage of on a daily basis as human beings, right? Like, when you sit down and eat dinner, you don't think like, oh, what this meal had to go through to feed me, to keep me living. So to be able to be there in nature and understand the process of life and how it starts from an egg with the salmon to how it ends with an egg of a salmon, it's kind of mind-blowing, right?
I love it. Well, we're through the end of our chat, and we don't want to step on some shows behind us. You guys, I'm totally excited.
Absolutely.
Thanks for sharing your experiences. All of you had a different experience. All of it hit a little bit differently, and you shared what excited you about them. And I'm so lit up about it. Clocks, what do you think? You haven't been yet. What do you think?
Well, I'm over excited. It's my next trip that I'm most definitely looking forward to.
Yep. And I like seeing all the different sites, places that we've never been before. So
yeah, it's going to be a great time. So we are going to close out, but I did want to quick tell you guys and remind everyone that in June 15th of 2025, we have the Norwegian Encore group cruise. It is a Helping Hands for Cruising group cruise. It's going to be a fantastic time. It's June 15th through June 22nd, 2025. Interior cabins for an Alaska start at $14.99 per person. We have balconies also at $23.13 per person. That does include the port fees and taxes. And you're also going to get a dining package, a drink package, and $100 onboard credit. If you get a balcony, you're also going to get a $50 shore excursion credit and 150 minutes of internet. So, and again, this is the June 15th through the 22nd. So get a hold of me at Bruce at Ocean Travel. We can get you on. We sell some great cabins available, some great balconies. You have to get a balcony when you're doing Alaska.
Yeah, send me a price for 2 people, Bruce.
Will do. All right. So anyways, thank you everyone for coming in. Go over to Nautical Nurse Nancy. She is on right now. We apologize. We stepped on her a minute or two.
Bill's wave.
My naughty sister. My naughty sister.
But everyone have a wonderful evening. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
And until next time, happy travels.
We'll see you out there.
We will see you out there.